Welcome, everybody. What a crowd. It's so great to see all of you after all these months and 2 years. 24 months ago, I stood on this stage for my very first day as the NMA president. And the journey since for both members and the association has been a roller coaster. So before I begin, I just want to thank the members and the board for their incredible support during very challenging and unpredictable times. And please join me in recognizing and thanking the talented and resilient NMMA and IBEX staff for their tireless and selfless efforts to serve the members when they needed it most. Now, the world is not the same place as when we last gathered here 2 years ago. Profound and foundational societal, political, marketplace shifts have occurred in an extremely short window. For instance, where people live has changed. We have seen and continue to see large migrations to coastal regions, river corridors, and lakefront communities, as well as mountain communities, and away from crowded urban areas. This is providing Americans with more convenient and more frequent access to waters close to home. Where people work has changed. Commutes have shortened or completely disappeared. In tall buildings like in Chicago, many are reporting vacancies over 80%, and many of the employees have not returned to former office environments. Business leaders are allowing working from home now, and most offices are closing or shrinking. This trend is providing consumers time for close-to-home outdoor recreation. And as we've seen, they've sought the outdoors in droves. And finally, how people play has changed. The pandemic has reminded all of us that life is just way too fragile and it's way too short to be wasted. Americans have reevaluated what's most important in their lives. And recreation and safely spending time with friends and family, on the water and in a boat, well, it's made the cut. So these shifts have broadened and redefined the outdoor recreation lifestyle in a way that we've never seen in America. And there's a new, renewed and lasting appreciation for a life well lived. So meanwhile, we've seen consumer income and disposable income increase, and there's less debt than ever before. So overwhelmingly, consumers are spending their dollars on recreation, whether it's boats, RVs, outdoor recreation of activities of all kind and gear. The only hitch in really preventing us from seeing our full potential and our greatest gains in the industry's history is our ability to meet and service the demand. So recreational boating is winning, but we've not won. And the question we should all be asking right now is, how do we cement these gains? So one key to reaching our full potential is Discover Boating, which is powered by your two leading trade associations, NMMA and MRAA. These member-owned programs raise our collective voice to grow and retain the interest in the boating lifestyle and foster participation in emerging consumer markets. Discover Boating, like Go RVing does in the RV industry, plays a critically important role in building awareness in the boating lifestyle and turning new participants into boat buyers and raising the consumer experience. Central to our go-forward strategy is uniting Discover Boating with all of our industry-owned boat shows. This integration will allow us to be consistent and louder in each of our major boating markets. This strategy kicks off in 2022 Miami International Boat Shows with our partners at Informa and will be completed in the 2023 show season. Discover Boating Miami will be the world's largest international consumer boat show, period. And the 2022 show is going to be absolutely spectacular. I toured the new Miami Beach Convention Center back in July, and I was absolutely wowed by the new renovation of that facility and the impressive concepts for on-land and in-water portions of the show. This includes an experiential activation in Pride Park, which is Miami Beach's 6-acre outdoor amenity right next to the convention center. And it'll be transformed into the ultimate boat show experience, where attendees and exhibitors will have special access to outdoor experiences, live concerts, culinary activations, boater education, and of course, a first look at brand new products. And as we prepare for the 2022 boat show season, we're seeing that the consumer interest in boating, as well as boat shows, is at an all-time high. Year-to-date consumer visits at discoverboating.com's boat show section are up 1,000%. And emails to our loyal boat show going community are sustaining open rates that are far above industry averages. Our 2-year Get On Board campaign, which you just saw, that partnership with RBFF and MRAA, has resulted in 2 billion impressions and a combined total of 32 million views on both Take Me Fishing and Discover Boating YouTube channels. Discover Boating has achieved also a significant 2-year increase in next-generation visitors and manufacturer lead generation. So highlighting Discover Boating across all of our major market boat shows will turn these reimagined outreach events into a distinct competitive advantage and help cement industry gains. We will invite more Americans to experience the boating lifestyle. We'll educate more consumers. We will advocate for our issues there, and we will ensure that we stand out from all other outdoor recreation activities. So in addition to our market expansion efforts, advocacy is the other critical pillar of growing and sustaining the recreational boating industry. NMMA drives the industry's policy priorities at all levels of the government, and there has been no shortage of activity since we last met here. As the COVID crisis obviously initially hit, we remained sniper-focused on protecting the members and providing critical member value. We restored consumer access to shut-off regions. We assisted companies in accessing relief, and we positioned the industry to quickly rebound. And then, with our partners at the Outdoor Recreation Roundtable, we passed historic recreation legislation known as the Great American Outdoors Act, which was passed by Congress and signed by the President Trump. It permanently funds the Land and Water Conservation Fund at $900 million annually, and it invests $9.5 billion with a B in outdoor recreation and federal maintenance backlog infrastructure critical to the marine industry. We're now focused on making sure that those congressionally approved investments are well spent, and they expand the critical access points and repair boat ramps across the country. This year, we also prevented the European Union's 25% tariff on American-made boats from doubling. And we've engaged extensively with the Commerce Department, congressional allies, and our international partners to move closer to a comprehensive resolution that eliminates the punitive tariff and levels the playing field for the American boat builder. And we're also working to reestablish the Section 301 tariff exclusion process. These are tariffs that have negatively impacted more than 300 marine products, costing the industry and consumers tens of millions of dollars each year. We're also monitoring the 30 by 30 movement. Now, this is an initiative aimed at combating climate change by conserving 30% of our oceans and lands by 2030. And as the president's report was being crafted, our message was very simple: protect access for recreational boating and fishing. And the administration heard us. The preliminary report, 30 by 30 report, prominently references the importance of recreational access and preserving it, and a direct product of NMMA's and the broader outdoor recreation industry's engagement with policymakers leading up to this important report. And with the influx of so many new consumers and participants out on the water right now, a growing number of states and localities have attempted to restrict boating access related to water sports. In response, NMMA, with our friends at the Water Sports Industry Association, launched an aggressive campaign to oppose these closures and advance industry-backed solutions. We prevented 10 states right now from initiating punitive boating restrictions, and we're well positioned to build on that success this next year. Infrastructure also remains a very hot topic, as you've probably heard in the press and the news in Washington, D.C. And we're working to secure several top priorities, like expanding boating access and facilities, reauthorizing the Sport Fund and Sport Fish Restoration Boating Trust Fund, incentives for the next generation marine propulsion systems, and climate resiliency measures for the industry as Congress inches closer and closer to a final package. And we're also very actively engaged with the EPA right now and other federal and state regulatory agencies to ensure that the materials that we safely, affordably, and durably construct and power boats with remain widely available to the American boat builder and consumers. And of course, we're always going to stay vigilant to identify and thwart policies that pose any threat to your business. As you can see, the recreational boating industry right now has many challenges, but we have a lot to look forward to as the world permanently redefines how and where it lives, works, and plays. And because of these consumer trends we're seeing, we can expect the immense popularity of outdoor recreation and boating to continue. We're winning. But let's not be fooled into thinking we've already won. We must continue to build a stronger and more diverse consumer pipeline, because the consumers that we're speaking to today and selling to today, well, they're not the consumers we need to capture tomorrow. We can all do a much better job of capturing and servicing the entry-level customer, addressing diversity, and servicing the end consumer. And we can use and leverage our both Discover Boating and our boat shows to make that happen. And we must continue to build political champions and remain politically smart, because changing politics, parties, policies, regulations, elections, they never stop. We can all do a better job of engaging our federal, state, and local representatives across the political spectrum to ensure all policymakers, regardless of party, understand what is needed to support our businesses and grow the recreational boating community. And finally, as an industry, we must continue to share and recommit to our rich legacy of conservation and sustainability and corporate social responsibility. And this is important because it matters to our consumers of the future. It matters to our employees, and it matters to our children who are going to inherit the planet. We can all do a much better job of protecting our oceans and lakes, sustaining our fisheries, and reducing our corporate environmental footprints. We're blessed in this room. We're really blessed that the recreational boating lifestyle is winning. But there is a lot more to do. Thank you for listening, and let's get going and cement these gains.